was great.
Yeah, that's that type of comedy. It's just you don't acknowledge that you're telling a joke.
Mm-hmm.
When you tell a joke, and there's exceptions to it or whatever, but if you just tell a joke, you let the joke be the joke.
Yeah.
You don't and then just like do silly things. It like makes that the center of what's trying to be funny rather than the actual punchline.
Yep. I agree. Yeah, what summer movies you got?
Well, why don't we talk about the two big ones, the pair up of the Marvel versus DC, Superman versus Fantastic Four. They're kind of fighting each other in the box office. I don't think either one of them are performing as well as the studios wanted them to, but better, I think, than a lot of the haters are giving credit for.
Okay. I think
there's two groups of people online about the Superman movies. Like, this is the highest grossing solo Superman movie of all time. I'm like, well, that's very narrow.
Yeah.
And then there's like, yeah, but you didn't adjust for inflation. This movie sucks.
I'm like, shut up with your inflation talk. Get out of here.
Yes, technically, this movie made more than the other movies. Yes, technically, adjusted for inflation, not so much. The movie's profitable. It just is.
Right. I think, and this is hard. This is hard for me to swallow. And I addressed this point blank when I did both my quick review and my full review on the Superman movie. I hate that I loved that movie.
That's funny.
Because, you
pride yourself on not liking Superman.
I have made, it's actually part of my personality at this point. My entire life, I've never liked Superman because he's too damn powerful. He's too perfect. He's the ace in the hole every time. The only reason why he's ever not there is because he's distracted with something else, right? But then he shows up and everything's fine, except for one little space rock. That's it. It's the only thing to take this mother down. I loved this movie, and it's because the opening scene had him getting his ass whooped. I was like, yeah, we're having a good time.
Yeah, we watched that from different perspectives. You're like, good. I don't like Superman. I want to see him get his ass kicked.
But it was because he was humanized throughout the entire movie. They humanized him in that regard. Like, he's not perfect, and that's what I loved because they took the very thing that I hate about the guy and they used it as the reason why I now liked that movie.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to like Superman if you're a Batman guy because they're just polar opposites in the DC universe. Correct. They have a lot in common, of course. They fight bad guys, and they both live in cities that don't exist, which is an accomplishment unto itself. Yeah. But dark brooding.
Let me brood, okay? Just let me brood.
But yeah, I thought Superman was great. One of the things I absolutely love about it is that you are given no warning or backstory. You're right in the middle of shit.
That trend in general with comic book movies, I'm loving. I'm so sick of seeing origin stories. Mm-hmm. We get it. We know. And there's little nods to it there, right? There were parts of it in the story that it made sense to have it in there, but we didn't need 30 minutes of baby Superman getting jettisoned off to Earth. We didn't need that. So I appreciate it.
It's been filmed enough. You got Smallville. You got the Christopher Reeve version. You got the Man of Steel. Yep. You got the actual comic book. You got the origin stories from every other superhero. The original Spider-Man movie was an origin story. Almost everyone I got to get their origin story.
Yep.
That's why I like The Dark Knight better than Batman Begins, because there's not many Batman movies where he's just Batman through the whole movie.
Yep, I agree. Well, and James Gunn had addressed it. He was like, I don't need to see Martha and Thomas Wayne get shot anymore. I don't need to see Uncle Ben die anymore. So I love that he's taking that stance with the DC Extended Universe. Fantastic Four, on the other hand, I honestly take the same kind of stance as I took with the Naked Gun. It was entertaining, but I was bored. It seemed like it was a 2-hour just set up stepping stones for Doomsday and whatever else Marvel's going to do. But I'll tell you what, Marvel's got to get their shit together. Pardon my French. They're struggling. And Doomsday kind of needs to do a lot of things to reset them. Or if they keep performing this way and DC keeps performing this way, I think there's going to be a shift. And I'd be very interested to see that.
As a guy who's loved DC more than Marvel forever, I would kind of think it'd be fun if DC took the mantle of the big superhero thing.
Yep.
And it could happen. I mean, Superman's got a reasonable start. It's profitable. It might not quite, a lot of people pretend that the box office is the only thing about the movie that makes it Like movie theaters get half. There's marketing costs. People are estimating that maybe Superman actually needs to hit 700 million to break even at the box office, and it's sitting at around 500 worldwide.
Okay.
But when you factor in, the fact that people have digital purchases, Blu-ray, selling the rights to other streaming services, digital rentals, and all that stuff, and when other subsequent movies come out, people are going to buy it on Fandango. But the box office is not the end of a movie's profitability.
No, it's not.
Marketing, all the Superman shit that they put on everything, this movie's going to make money for decades.
Oh, for sure.
So,
the superhero clash up, I'm very interested. I need to address this because I had someone that made a comment on one of my videos that is no longer there anymore, but whatever. I need to vent this out for a second, okay? Marvel, you know what you did. That baby is whack. Sue Storm gave birth to it. And I made this joke in the theater. I'm going to make it now. Okay. That baby's whack. She gave birth to a 2 or a 3-month-old. It's not like the superpowers are reversed and she's got the stretchy powers here. Okay. There is a Pixar film called Incredibles with Elastigirl where maybe that explains a few things or two. Not this film. You can pop in a week later and Vanessa Kirby, love you to death. Looking great, pop back in the car. Hey, here's the baby. Woman, you just had a kid. But that baby was whack. The back and forth between the CGI and the practical baby, I do not think was handled very well.
Yeah, I don't know about your wife, but my wife was out of commission for a little bit after giving birth to our son.
Yeah.
I mean, of all, forgive me for saying so, but of all the experiences in my life, watching my wife give birth makes me glad to be a guy.
Oh,
but you're right. If they in the second Fantastic Four movie, with Chris Evans as Johnny Storm,
yes,
they're actually swapping powers in that movie. If they could have done that, so she could have given birth with just her hoo-ha, whoop, baby pops up, closes back up. It would have been a lot nicer for her.
I can think of a website or two that might be a thing on, but we don't want to go there right now. But again, it was entertaining. Galactus was done very well. I think we both addressed in our separate reviews that it was nice to see Galactus not just be an angry cloud. So that was really fun to see. The sound and the effects and the visuals for Fantastic Four were fantastic. They were, and I will give it to Marvel. They did a good job with that. The storytelling just didn't land for me.
I usually prefer movies with good stories.
I agree.
But I will say that, and I don't usually say this about movies, but the visuals almost make up for it. The movie is so good looking. Mm-hmm. The retro 60s futuristic vibe, I think it's just amazing. And I like the costumes. I like the look of the heroes. I like the look of Galactus, the spaceship, the intergalactic travel.
Yep.
When they go to Galactus, it all looks so good.
Yep.
I love the aesthetic of it. I just wish that the story was as appealing, but it's serviceable. It's fine. I think I probably liked the movie better than you did. But even so, there are some, I think the movie's, I bet there's a longer cut of the movie where it makes more sense.
This one would have made sense to have been a Marvel show, like on Disney Plus or something like that, where the whole time of getting, like, receiving the messages and ultimately, like, Silver Surfer arriving and traveling to Galactus, that could have been season 1. Everything that was kind of encompassed with that. And, like, figuring out all of, like, the investigative stuff in between there, that could have been your individual episodes while taking care of street level bad guys. And then the interaction with Galactus and the whole trip, him coming back, that could have been another season. I mean, this could have been a 2-season thing that you could have gone deeper in, I feel like.
Well, they had that little montage about over the last 4 years, they defeated this bad guy, this bad guy, this bad guy. If they would have, like, had those as individual episodes while progressing the Silver Surfer plot a little bit at the same time, that could have been a lot of potential with that.
I didn't make this comment in my review because I didn't want to be a jerk, but I'll do it on your channel. Speaking of The Incredibles, can we address the Mole Man from Fantastic Four? How is that not the Underminer from The Incredibles?
Well, how is The Incredibles not the Fantastic Four?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, let's think about this for a second. We've got Elastigirl, who would subsequently be Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Incredible would be substituted in for Thing. Violet would be Human Torch. We don't have a speedster, so Dash is out. But then you have Jack, who kind of does everything. And he kind of goes on fire, so he could count as Human Torch.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Underminer. God dang it.
What other movies did you see this summer?
Oh, what else have I seen?
You saw the racing movie.
I saw F1. As someone who has not a flipping clue about F1 racing, I really enjoyed that movie. That one had a great story behind it. The acting was good. The drama was good. The racing was spot on. And I found out afterwards, and it was actually from one of the viewers had put something really cool in my comment section that had told me that one of the super successful racers in Formula One actually kind of oversaw all of the racing sequences to make them as absolutely realistic as possible. And they did a good job educating the viewers on like the racing culture and why they do certain things with their tires and the planning that goes behind it without making you feel dumb or without it feeling like a documentary. So Brad Pitt did a great job on that movie. Actually,
he's always good.
I really enjoyed that one. He wasn't snacking though. I was sad he wasn't snacking on something the whole time.
Speaking of snacking, I've been watching the the Fast and Furious movies.
On.
And I've okay. Know nothing about these movies. I'm watching them one at a time for my channel. Just why not? This channel gives me an excuse to dig up old movies that I probably should have watched a long time ago.
Yep.
I think I watched Fast 5 out of context from the other movies, and I saw like bits and pieces of them on TV out of order, so I didn't really get it. But Han died in Tokyo Drift, and then he's alive again.
Yep.
I was like, okay, so I guess that's a prequel, and then he's still alive, and then he's still alive. I'm like, what the f***?
Yep.
So I guess that I have to wait till like 6 or 7 to find out.
Something like that.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense to me. But I like Han. I'm glad that he's alive, even though he died.
Did you ever research on why Han is always snacking on something?
They mentioned in one of the movies that he had quit smoking.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be
I think the Gal Gadot character mentioned that to him, maybe, or I don't know.
Well, so from what I had heard, and I could be wrong on this hearsay.
Or is it the actor in real life?
The actor in real life. So Han was supposed to be smoking. He was supposed to be a smoker, and he was like, because this is more of a family targeted and it's young people that watch this, he wanted to have something that could be a better role model. So he's like, you can't be mad at a guy who's just eating chips all the time. Yeah. Like, if anything, you just think he's a stoner and he's just snacking the whole time. But I was like, but it was a fun character trait. Yeah, anytime you see this guy, he's just popping chips. Just popping chips.
Smoking bad. Grand Theft Auto, good.
Yeah.
Every other crime, murder.
International espionage, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, so I just posted a video of Fast 5. I'm going to watch Fast 6. But somebody, I don't remember which video it was, but one of the ones somebody posted that I should watch the F1 movie if I want a good car movie. Because these movies are cartoons where the F1 movie takes it more seriously.
Yep.
And maybe I will, maybe I won't, I don't know.
It might have actually been me that posted that comment.
Yeah. I don't pay attention to what you say.
That tracks.
That makes it so it probably wasn't you.
I think your channel is the one I muted. No, so F1 was good. I saw How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version of that.
Okay.
Thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
Do you think I should show my son? He never watched the original cartoon. I don't know if it'd be too scary for him, but he was able to sit through Galactus.
Here's my thing. Have you seen the originals and just he hasn't? Okay.
I've never seen any of them.
So I have seen two pools of people because I have a friend who had not seen the originals either, and he went just straight into it, and he thoroughly enjoyed it because they do a great job explaining everything because it is a remake of the first one.
I heard it's like almost shot for shot.
Damn near shot for shot. And I was very sensitive to that because I love the How to Train Your Dragon series. They are some of my favorite movies, even as a grown man. The storytelling is amazing. The soundtrack is great. The character development is awesome. The lore and the stories behind all of it, equally amazing. I was very, very worried that going live action, they were going to screw the pooch on this one. And they didn't. And I come to find out that the director for this movie was the director or the producer was actually on the original animating team.
Oh, no kidding.
For the original. But here's the fun part. He hates live action remakes. So he toyed several times with Toothless specifically because they looked at doing like hyper realism. He's like, no, it's too scary. And we lose some of the characteristics that made that character, even though it's a dragon, but that character so relatable and so just like full of character, right? So they kept cartoonish aspects here, but then they went really realistic and like the body movements and stuff. So they married it very well. I would say you could watch either one of them and it'd be great. If he sat through Galactus, I think he could, but I almost want to say show your son the original ones first.
Okay. My kid tends to like the real versions with actors. Like I tried to show him some animated. He loves Superman now.
Okay.
He liked Superman before going to the Superman movie, but now he loves Superman. He wants his next birthday party to be a Superman.
That's
party,
awesome.
which I think that's great to have kids watching your kids enjoy things like that. But
yeah.
I tried to show him some of the cartoons. Like, no, I want to watch the movies with actors in it. So take that for what it is. But
I'm not a kid, Dad.
Right.
Show me the superhero, please.
Yeah.
No, but I think either one of those he would really enjoy. What else did I see this summer?
I watched Sketch.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
So I did a review on it, and I had no idea what I was watching. Our movie theater chain gives you mystery movies where they show you a new movie without knowing what it is. You pay almost nothing for the ticket, and it's a surprise what the movie is. They tell you what it's rated, but beyond that, you know nothing.
Okay.
So I see Angel Studios come up, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be some Christian thing.
Right.
And then it's this weird horror movie. I don't know. I have a real hard time defining the genre. It's funny.
Okay.
I might have laughed more at that than I did The Naked Gun.
Oof.
It's a genuinely funny movie.
Okay.
It's also genuinely scary. I mean, there's sequences where, these kids' drawings come to life.
Okay.
So before that happens, the kid's showing the drawings, like the kid's mad, the girl's mad at her dad. It's like, you're always on your phone. So he draws these little spiders stealing her dad's phone and coffee cup and then his eyeballs.
Oh.
And then the dad's phone goes missing and the coffee cup goes missing. And then these little spiders attack him. And he's got blood on his face and they're like trying to kill him.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, what the actual fuck am I watching? It's rated PG, not PG-13, but it's scarier than a lot of actual horror movies I've seen.
I'm going to have to go watch this.
But at the same time, the monsters are so cartoonishly cute, it's hard to be afraid. But this big blue thing with like googly eyes is attacking a school bus where its tentacles are reaching in, trying to grab and kill the children. And I'm like, this is an Angel Studios family-friendly thing, and I'm watching attempted child murders, but they try to offset it with humor and jokes. And I'm just befuddled by the existence of the movie.
Is Angel Studios the one that Mel Gibson started?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I think they're responsible for the Chosen TV show about Jesus. They did the King of Kings movie where there's like an animated Christ story. There's
because they also did the Homestead series, and I
don't know anything about that.
So that one, and I've yet to watch it. I've heard fantastic reviews about it. It is like nuclear war happens in like California.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like the super doomsday prepper community type one, where again, it's like the reviews I saw on it was like there's so much like fighting and gunfights and this and this and this, and someone had commented like, yeah, heaven forbid that the movie about World War III and nuclear war has gunfights. Sorry,
right.
But that excites me though, if a studio that is going to do that isn't scared of doing kind of scary stuff, some kind of actiony stuff.
But at the same time, there's no raunchiness to it.
Correct.
There's a few mild swear words. Like the premise of the movie is the mom had died before the movie starts, and it's dad and the two kids.
Yep.
And they're debating whether that counts as being orphans or not. And one of the kids is like, does that mean we're bastards? Like, no, that's not what that means. So it's genuinely funny and mild profanity like that, but there's no raunchy sexualness. There's no inappropriate love scenes that are out of place in a kid's movie. There's no bad innuendo. So it is family friendly in that respect, except for the whole monsters trying to kill children thing.
Well, I mean, hey, but there's no nudity.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, that in and of itself is refreshing because, like I said, with the video with the Naked Gun, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of just raunchy. It doesn't do it for me. So to see storytelling be getting back to storytelling, that excites me.
Unless the movie's raunchy intentionally and you know that going in. If it advertises itself as such. One of my favorite old movies is Basic Instinct, which is sort of a horror, or not horror, but like a murder mystery thriller with lots and lots of naked people and sex.
Okay.
And in that, I don't know if you've ever seen it because you're younger than 40. But there's actually a sequence where a woman is screwing a guy on top and she reaches behind a pillow with an ice pick and starts stabbing the guy in the face just as they're climaxing. And that's like one of the opening sequences of the movie, and it doesn't get less intense from there. But it's one of my favorite movies. But
Basic.
They don't pretend it's a kids movie either, you know?
Fair. What else have you seen?
Jurassic World.
Oh, okay. I have not seen any of the modern Jurassic movies. I didn't see the ones with Chris Pratt. I haven't seen the ones with Scarlett Johansson. The last time I saw a Jurassic movie was the original 3.
Okay. You can watch this movie without knowing anything about the Jurassic World movies.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that's actually one of the big pluses on it. It gives you just enough backstory to understand the universe, and then basically a couple groups of people go to this dinosaur island and try not to die. The entire movie is a survival movie where, for various plot reasons, they have to go to Dinosaur Island for reasons.
Okay.
It really doesn't matter why they're there, but they come up with some bullshit excuse to be there, which makes enough sense where you buy it. And it's really just them in the jungle trying not to get eaten for 2 hours. And and if you just watch it for that alone, it's fun.
I've heard the visuals are great in that movie.
They are.
Okay. All right.
Not really a huge fan of their genetically engineered monster dinosaur. They have, just for fun, I guess, scientists made like the most terrifying nightmare dinosaur hybrid thing that they could come up with. And surprise, surprise, it escapes. And that's like the climax dinosaur. It's like, we need something scarier than the T-Rex. So how about this dinosaur that has kind of human hands and a face and is just icky? And so I wish they wouldn't have done that.
That makes me think of the mutated spider dude from the Lost in Space movie, the early 2000s version, where he had the weird long neck. And
I wouldn't have made that connection, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay, here, on that plot note, I don't do this often, but I will quote my brother. We play video games and watch movies and all that kind of stuff. Famously, I can almost tell you to a T, anytime the plot has something like that, he screams into our microphone, "Stop messing with stuff! You find the portal to hell? Close it! You find the alien? Leave it alone! Stop fucking with it! Just leave it alone! Because shit happens every single time. Someone in one of these movies needs to find this idea. Look, we can make it, but what if we gave it a hand? How about we not? How about we just leave it alone, Bill? How about let's go buy you coffee? You like steak, Bill? Let's go get you a steak, not make a new dinosaur. What does it benefit, Bill?
I don't know if this really counts as a spoiler. I guess it does, whatever. But part of the plot is a race against the clock where plan B, if their boat gets destroyed by dinosaurs, which surprise, surprise, it does. I think this one has more juice in it. Plan B is that, like, day after tomorrow at this exact moment, a helicopter is going to show up for 2 minutes. And if they're not at that exact spot at that exact time, the helicopter will fly away, which I think is a bunch of crap. Why wouldn't it hang around for a few more minutes? It's a helicopter.
Why can't the helicopter bring the guns? Bring the big boom booms, guys.
But the whole idea is that they're trying to get to the spot in time to be rescued by the helicopter. And one unintentionally funny moment is the helicopter arrives, it's going to leave, and just as it's starting to come back to rescue them, dinosaur monster grabs it and starts eating it like an ear of corn, just chomping on this helicopter. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, their one and only way off of the island is getting literally eaten by the monster. I'm like, okay,
and
that's
it's
cool.
A snack. Dino hungry. No.
But luckily they had a fully fueled boat nearby that wasn't in the movie right up until the end, so whatever.
Because plot.
Yeah, because we need our heroes to escape.
Look at the plot device. There's holes in it.
That was so funny.
What the hell else have I seen this year? Saw How to Train Your Dragon. I saw Lilo and Stitch, the live action Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, I used to be in a heavy metal band where my bass player had a Stitch tattoo, and everybody called him Stitch. That's the only thing I know about Lilo and Stitch. Never watched the cartoon. I
love the animated version. Stitch was part of my childhood.
Again, that probably just a generation thing. I'm probably just slightly too old to have given a crap about it.
Yep. I was okay. Let me preface this. I was when these respective movies were announced, I was very excited for Lilo and Stitch because I saw the animations for the trailer and so on and so forth like that. I was pissed about How to Train Your Dragon because I didn't want them to screw up my favorite franchise, right? The live action versions of each of these respectively, I had the opposite reactions to. I was thrilled about How to Train Your Dragon and doing the shot for shot, and they did it justice, the characters justice, like I said before. Lilo and Stitch, I actually left the theater upset. Yeah. I did not like what they did. It was not a remake, it was a reimagining, so there were so many key character points and character traits that they changed. There was some key characters from the original that were just all in all removed, and the overall story itself was not the same. They kept enough of the original to be like, hey, it's Lilo and Stitch, and then that was it. I left that one being very, very upset.
It's like somebody watched an episode 10 years ago and kind of wrote the movie with that vague memory.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
And of course that made $1 billion.
Oh, for sure. They already greenlit it for a second one.
Speaking of things you love getting destroyed by Hollywood, there is a TV show on Apple called Foundation, which is based on some of my favorite novels by Isaac Asimov. It's just real heady, kind of cerebral science fiction that they turn into Game of Thrones in space with blood and guts and profanity. The original book is just about a guy who comes up with a math equation where he can predict society in the future. You can't predict what an individual person will do, but you can predict what billions and trillions of people can do as a group throughout the course of the galaxy over thousands of years.
It's just societal norms and things
so
like
he
that.
predicts through this science, this mathematical science, that the galactic empire is going to fall. Then there'll be 10,000 years of darkness before a new, better galactic empire rises from the ashes. He wants to shorten that time frame from 10,000 years of darkness to a mere 1,000 years of darkness.
Only 1,000 years.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Well, given 10,000 versus... But so he predicts these crises that are going to happen. And you don't know how the hell they're going to get out of these situations. And then this vault opens with a recording where he says, now this is when we do this, 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 and this, which solves the problem that he predicted in advance. And that's basically the premise of the entire show. The empire falls and the foundation rises and all that good stuff. That's about 1% of what the TV show is. They have that element, but it's mostly, graphic violence and profanity and sex. And it's just, and I don't mind graphic violence, profanity, and sex, damn it. But
it's got
it just doesn't, it's not Foundation. It's too far removed from the original. It's like somebody read the back cover of the book and said, okay, got it. Let's make the movie.
Right, here's my frame for it. Speaking of graphic violence, another movie that I saw that I was very thrilled with was The Ballerina from the John Wick universe. I was lucky enough to have gotten a early screening pass for that one. It was like 5 days before the actual release date. So I grabbed me and a couple of guys. We went and saw that. I love the John Wick movies, and The Ballerina did very, very good, keeping it to her own story, keeping it connected to the world, though. And something that they did that I really appreciated about it was changing the way that Ana de Armas's character fought versus how Keanu Reeves's John Wick would fight. Because for anyone that's ever seen the John Wick movies, he's very gung fu, right? It's a lot of shooting. It's a lot of being able to overpower his enemies.
I thought of that during The Naked Gun, where the magazines falling out of the gun and somebody bounces back into the gun. I felt like that was a silly John Wick.
But Ana de Armas, they did a great job in reference to the fact that she's small. And she's a tiny woman, right? I mean, she's not like, y'all get what I'm saying. So she had to improvise a lot more and had to cheat. And they call it out in the film, like, you're smaller. You are at a disadvantage. You have to fight different. And they made it her own tactic throughout the movie. So that attention to details was a fun one to watch.
I appreciate that too, because a lot of female-led action movies, they just pretend that the female character is just a tough guy, and it looks silly. You got to factor in physics. I mean, a 120-pound person, male or female, is going to fare differently when you're fighting a 250-pound muscular guy.
There was a sequence in The Ballerina where she was going through an armory that they had, and there was umpteen amount of henchmen that were after her, right? And they're all skilled assassins and so on and so forth. And she passes, I kid you not, 150 different assault rifles, machine guns, handguns, and she passes all of them because she knows she's not good enough to win in a gunfight with them. What does she find, though, you ask? I'll tell you what she found. A box of flipping grenades. And let me tell you, like a video game kid, she just went grenade happy. But it made sense. She's like, I can win this way. It made sense. Loved it.
So I never became a cop, but I went to college and studied law enforcement. I ended up in a very different career path. But in any event, during my firearms training, we talked about when is and when is not appropriate to use a gun. And other self-defense sort of things. When you're fighting in that situation, you're not trying to make it an even fight.
Correct.
You're trying to apprehend, subdue a threat.
Yep.
So if somebody has a knife, you can shoot them in the face.
Yep.
And it's justified because you're saving somebody's life.
Yep.
You're not trying to kill a person. You're trying to save the life of a person. And the side effect of that is someone's death.
Yep.
So in movies, if somebody's trying to win, sure, grab the grenades instead of the gun. Blow the shit out of people. It makes absolute sense. And I'm 100% in favor of that.
Yep. 100%.
In movies. I don't really want people to die for real. I got to say one more thing about Foundation.
Yeah, hit it.
I'll tell you the exact moment I left the show.
Oh, you didn't even like finish watching it.
Well, they did 2 seasons. I actually did videos on the first 2. Even though they diverged from the original books, I actually kind of liked the first 2 seasons. The 3rd season brought in a villain that I was so excited for.
Okay.
A guy called the Mule.
The Mule.
So psychic powers are a thing.
Yep.
So you can predict what mass amounts of humanity will do over time, but this person has the ability to change the way people think. He can plant thoughts in their heads. So he's basically taking over the galaxy by controlling powerful people, which that's not something you can predict with your future predicting science.
Nice.
So he was a fantastic villain in the novels.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was trying to, he's a villain, so he's going to kill people.
Mm-hmm.
But the level of cruelty that the Mule has in the show is just off the charts.
Yeah.
Mustache twirling evil.
Oof.
And I don't like it. He has this guy pick up a potato peeler and making him peel his own skin back.
Oh.
And they show it in graphic detail. You actually watch pieces of his hand come off.
No.
And I'm like, Isaac Asimov is rolling over in his grave over that. That's not at all. That's not even close to the tone that you want. And that's beyond what the first 2 seasons did either. They never went that horrible.
Yeah. And that's there's got to be a line where you don't. And I think there's something to be said for villains in general where you could be evil and you can be you can be an excellent bad guy without being cruel. And I think that's the difference, I think, in a lot of ways between it being a bad guy and a good villain and just being like sadistic. When you get characters that are like that are enjoying that I don't know, there's...
It's got to be in the context. Like if you're watching some R-rated movie that's just all about blowing people up and shooting people and graphic violence, you can go with a lot more gore. But when it's supposed to be this like ethereal, heady, kind of cerebral science fiction thing, and then all of a sudden you're watching somebody's skin get peeled off, it's just the tonal inconsistency is what bugs me.
I agree.
If you're going to go I love the Game of Thrones kind of went off the rails, but I love the early seasons. I didn't mind the graphic violence in those because it was in context of the story.
Yep.
But when it's out of place, it's really irksome.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I can agree with that.